This message is so time sensitive. It's literally a window or portal that has been created. It feels like finally being seated here with you is us seated together in this time dilation bubble where you're being brought back again and again and again. But it's to a frequency of peace that emerges from within your very being that is ready for you to return to it at any given moment in time during your space-time travels. And there's an energy of you being pulled so deeply inwards during these next 48 hours. When I tell you the divine redirections have been occurring, and not even after that, okay, I have so much to share. I'm actually really, really excited. I've been on such a vibe today, and I'm like finally sitting here with these messages. So I feel like I'm a kid in a candy store right now. So just bear that in mind. But the message is allow something to disclose itself to you. That became really, really evident, and it's going to happen in the moments in between. It's happening in the moments of stillness, in silence. And there is a message around the afterglow. This could be the afterglow of you, or I'm hearing glow that will be, I'm seeing reverberating through your entire carbon-based life form. So it feels like a physical avatar upgrade or ascension upgrades, because there's so much work that you've been doing mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, etherically, that's now translating itself into part of your tangible experience. So we're seeing the echo and also a ripple effect that is going to be reverberating after these next 48-hour period. And I'll tell you why specifically. There's so much that's coming through, but I do want to use that as a keyword, opening up, which is the afterglow. And the afterglow, in my notes, I swear I did a reading on this quite a few hours ago, where this is going to happen within a matter of hours. That was also another message where something's being unveiled to you, and I said it was a cosmic unraveling of some kind. Now, let me just share this with you, okay? This whole day, I thought I was gonna record this in the morning, then I thought I was gonna record this in the afternoon, and now as soon as the sun has set, and it was the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen, where you can see that moon and this pink, beautiful sky, there's an energy of, okay, it's time. I got this burst of energy where it's go time. That's what this feels like. All right, it's go time. Now I'm going to use Afterglow as oh my gosh, I just got notification for fated connections. Sometimes fate brings someone into your life who changes you forever, and that's the power of the Vertex. If you don't know what Vertex is in astrology, it's essentially known as an electric ascendant. So once we open up these messages, anything that coincides, it's not a coincidence, right? This is points of awareness that are streamlining through the field, that are colliding. I'm seeing exchanging information with one another. Vertex brings about fated epiphanies, which is exactly what I was going to share with you. What is happening is light and information is being revealed to you right now that is dramatically shifting the way that you're relating to your life experiences on Earth, especially emotionally. And it's some kind of electrical communication that's being exchanged with the source that is designed for you to, I'm seeing, anchor something back down, and I'm seeing that as the bridge of awareness that you have in how to connect the dots. And I'm just seeing something streamline through you into a completely new paradigm. That's going to make sense, right? So let me go ahead and look at the afterglow real quick. This message, I knew it was already going to be taking a complete different turn of events. Yeah. It's not gentle as well, because this is squaring Uranus. It's more of a divine shakeup. I'm going to share that with you. You're also closing a loop. So the afterglow was, I'm ready for the afterglow. I kept hearing that song. 7th of March could be significant for someone. And the lyrics are, even though the dancing's done, don't worry because the night is young. Who cares where we go? We're ready for the afterglow. Someone hold the sunlight back because we want this night to last. Smoke and lasers, love and ravers, afterglow, we're ready for the afterglow. Lights and action, strong attraction, afterglow, we're ready for the afterglow. And I said the proof is in the afterglow. And this is about your gifts being linked to the things that bring you profound joy. And in this message, I was talking about you're uncovering the layers of your true desires on a soul level. Afterglow represents the cosmos at your doorstep, and due to a small amount of residual electricity lingering inside of a circuit, where even after you've done this thing, there's an afterglow. There's ripples that continue to be sent through the space-time continuum, and it continues to impact those around you. So I'm seeing you as literally a sun with I'm hearing in your exaltation. So it's where the planetary bodies or celestial bodies perform extremely well, and you transfer light and heat and joy to your surroundings. So something that you've created, something that you're going to be doing, something that you're going to say, something that maybe you've sang or you've written. This message was, which can allow a tiny current to continue flowing even when the switch is off. This is usually a very faint glow. This is you. I'm seeing this as you. In this message, I said it's like you're doing something that makes your light expand. You become a beacon of light. And these internal networks connect you to your cosmic origins. It's some kind of act of creation that brings you back to your home frequency. The way that this message is coming back around, again, it's like a cyclical nature. So it feels like something's being pulled from the archives within the morphic field. It's something that your soul already knows how to do, how to navigate it, except you're moving through some type of new terrain. Or I'm seeing like this carbon-based life form is being acquainted with something that you already know how to do, and it's part of your alchemical journey. I keep hearing like millionaire, billionaire kind of timeline. So it's something is going to be unveiled to you, and we're going to get to that. This is just the beginning, and I didn't even think that this was going to open up like this. And in this message, I said it's like you do something that makes your light expand, and you become a beacon of light. And the light you emanate has an exothermic reaction. So in doing that, you as a plasma being emits photons, which is emitting information to this terrestrial plane, but it's of celestial origin. So organisms emit photons. You are an organism composed up of trillions of cells, and I'm seeing on a cellular level within the nucleus holds the DNA, which is your memory, where you're remembering something. Either you're remembering what an experience means, what to do with it, or where it takes you within these next 48 hours. So this is usually undetectable to the human eye, but the whole message today is literally about the human condition lifting and you being shown some kind of specific experience within your human journey that is contributing towards your soul's evolution. And also I'm just seeing legacy, which is not just what it is that you create, but the people in which you touch, and how your frequency continues emanating through this realm of vibration even after your physical departure. Okay, I'm seeing something around like energetic imprints are being specific energies. So I also said photons are created when electrons transition from a higher energy state to a lower energy state. Likewise, they're absorbed when they go from a lower energy state to a higher energy state. So yeah, you're exhibiting some kind of wave particle duality, which means that you have properties of both waves where they can interfere with each other to create patterns of light and darkness. So this separation of the two fundamental forces of nature unleashed an insanely powerful burst of energy. This is literally what's coming up from you, and it's because there's some kind of period of isolation that you've moved through, or introspection that you've moved through, where it's like you're recovering something from the underworld. And I spoke about this in the 8th house energy, and it's shifting your frameworks and how you view yourself, or your potential, or the potential that an experience is providing you through the raw ingredients. And I'm seeing base ingredients designed for the alchemist to play, create, and weave into their life experience. So this message is super, super, super specific. I didn't even think that we were going to go on this, but I kept hearing the afterglow. I kept singing it to myself for like 10 minutes before even opening up this message. And this isn't even the main storyline. So the message is, right, if we get back on track now, you could have felt like also this was a side quest of some kind, but side quests allow you to uncover, characters or lessons, or pick up or retrieve things within your inventory, add things to your collection within your life experience that you then bring with you onto the main quest. And that's what it feels like has happened within your life. Okay, so the main message was something is going to be illuminated to your soul that has been hidden in plain sight. And this is because anytime the sun is making a major aspect, whether that be a conjunction or a square or an opposition or even a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, there's usually some sense of something being illuminated, being shaken out, released, or detached from. And this feels like an abrupt detachment, because another message that was coming through was a song, and it was that Bruno, run away, baby, before I, you got it. And this feels like it was like an old timeline or some kind of experience where you're focusing on what's calling you rather than what it is that you're moving away from now. So if you've been feeling like there's some kind of information that I'm hearing has been blurry within the lines, those lines are about to become very clear for you. Something is going to literally click, and it definitely feels like your soul is revealing something to you that you couldn't see before, and you can't unsee it. And I kept getting a message around pink or blue, like pink or blue. So it feels like a red or blue moment for sure. It's a moment where like the fog lifts and the missing piece drops in. And this could be an email, it could be a text message, it could be a phone call, it could be simply some kind of internal aha moment. Again, Vertex showed up in the message, so it feels like some kind of fated epiphany of some kind, where something just, it hits you differently, right? It lands extremely differently. I feel like this is the moment that the practical, analytical mind suddenly sees what is invisible and the magic that was always there, but we're finally becoming aware of it. Because Virgo doesn't just organize the physical world right now, it's starting to organize the energetic one too. If we think about it, Virgo is literally the one that brings order from Pisces disorder. Virgo is the one that can lift the veil, particularly on this Kazimi that's happening, where we are able to see the architecture of how the dots connect within the secret hidden order to something that the human eye or lens wasn't able to interpret before about their life experience. So the purpose or role was already there, but it's simply being illuminated for you within these next 48 hours. So the main message is something is hidden in plain sight in your experience, and you're about to see exactly what that is. And before we even get into the Sabian symbol of this Mercury Kazimi that's happening in Virgo, I want you to think about a Kazimi as a scene within a royal court, and the sun is seated on the throne, and then we have Mercury, who's this royal messenger. And usually Mercury is moving through the court, you know, gathering information, exchanging messages. He's kind of overhearing conversation and delivering this news to the world around it. But at the Kazimi, Mercury walks directly up to the throne, and suddenly Mercury has the king or queen's full attention and is like, heary, heary. And suddenly the background chatter just stops. It's like a microphone drop moment. It's so silent in the room that you can hear a pin drop, because there's an important message that has reached the sovereign. And honestly, this reminds me so much of Lady Whistledown if you watch the Bridgerton, because the moment that she drops like the societal papers, suddenly the entire town is listening, like the entire community, the entire, I'm hearing like human species is listening, and there's some kind of information that's being unveiled, and it's not even new. This is the thing, it's something that has always been happening within the merging of the human and divine nature, but now there's suddenly an internal dialogue that happens with Mercury seated in the heart of the sun. It's literally the mind catching up on it in a linear way for what it is that has been happening within your eternal light. And, you know, this is like some kind of information that reveals what was already happening, but no one could see up until now. And this is literally what's happening for your own soul's journey. So just a little context, if you haven't watched the Bridgerton and you don't know about Lady Whistledown, Lady Whistledown was basically an alias that this character Penelope would use in order to write these newsletters that would be sent out to the entire collective, but nobody knew that it was her. And so she was known as this wallflower, the one who was hidden in plain sight. She was always listening and very much overlooked. She was literally the underdog, and she was always gathering information and noticing the things other people completely missed. And all along, this seemingly invisible person was Lady Whistledown. It was a messenger whose words could completely change how everybody perceived people and circumstances around them. And so when the truth truth finally comes to light, it's not that Penelope suddenly becomes Lady Whistledown. She was Lady Whistledown the entire time, yet she was kind of hidden, right? So what was previously hidden can now be consciously seen, not just within ourselves and having to own, okay, what this information actually means and how that transforms the way that maybe you see yourself or relate to your life experiences and what we're being called to own up to and maybe shift within our embodiment, but also the way that other people interpret and see us is going to be changing. And I think this is a really beautiful analogy to utilize for this Kazimi that's happening for your own soul's journey, because there are moments in our space-time travels in which we're like, oh, actually, yeah, I already knew that, right? And maybe you did. Maybe you sensed something. Maybe you instinctively and intuitively already knew something. And that could be a gift that you've been developing, or an identity, or an idea, or just a realization that leaves you with an entirely different kind of understanding of yourself behind the scenes. And this could be the role that someone played in your life and you knew that. There could be the role in which you've been playing and that you've been participating within certain life experiences, and that's being illuminated. It also could be the purpose of why something had happened within your life experience. And so Mercury is the being that comes to the throne and illuminates this unconscious material that suddenly emerges into our conscious awareness, where it's like, oh, I'm now seeing the hidden material from the lens of the soul and what to create from it. It definitely, this feels like you're shifting into a billionaire timeline reading. So if you haven't watched that, I would highly advise to watch it, because it feels like that's being rippled through your field right now. And so the question now becomes, what do I do with this, right? Like, now that I know this, what do I want to do with it? And that's alchemy. Alchemy is saying, yeah, it happened, but what do I want to create from it? And that illumination ultimately not just recalibrates the way that you see yourself and your own potential in this realm, but also it recalibrates the way that other people see you. Because once Penelope is kind of revealed as this Lady Whistledown character and her alias is blown, she can't simply return to being perceived as a wallflower, right? Once the underdog is now seen as the goat, they can't, like, people can't see them the same and they can't see themselves the same. And so that revelation is designed to transform not only the way that you see yourself, but also it changes the relationship that you have with the part of you that you felt like you had to previously keep hidden. And so it feels like an empowered kind of energy, right? Where there's like a coherence that's coming into alignment within your inner realms. And then right after this Kazimi, it's being led up with, literally within a matter of hours, the Pisces eclipse. And so now that you know it, what are you ready to release, surrender, or see differently within your life experience? And this reminds me of the Dreamweavers reading. I was seeing this as like your guides, your angels, your ancestors that are all gathering around, right? Like these celestial light helpers that are seated around this courtyard. And they're all saying to you, child of light, well, now that you know it, now that you see this from the lens of the soul, what do you want to do with it, right? What do you want to do with this information? It's not that it's even anything new. It's simply that I'm hearing shedding light, which is illuminating a dimension within yourself that's desiring to emerge and express and, create in this realm. This is ultimately a piece of information that changes not just your environment, but it's a revelation that also changes the relationship that you have to yourself. And I'm just seeing, a deeper connection that you're fostering with yourself right now, where it's like, oh, okay, I understand. And there's a level of, I'm the chosen one because I choose myself. There's some kind of level of reconnection with your own soul, and there's something that you're having to integrate. Really, that's what it is. It's like, now that everyone can see this part of me, am I willing to own it? That's really what it is. And the sun is all about empowerment. It is all about solar plexus energy. It is trusting yourself. And again, with Penelope, it's not that she finally became Lady Whistledown when the sun came and illuminated this to everyone, right? It kind of exposed the things that were hiding previously under the moonlight. Instead, she is growing into a version of self that's capable of actually being able to hold that identity, thus hold the version of reality that is in resonance with the version of self she's being called to embody at this stage of her evolution. And so it's like you're owning something that's already part of your soul's journey. It was always encoded in your field, right? It feels like this was something that always traveled parallel to you. And this is a really beautiful interlude I'm hearing with the Sabian symbol, which is a man dreaming of fairies, which shows us that something invisible or something that was previously overlooked, dismissed, or existing at the edge of perception finally becomes consciously recognized through our human eyes. Because Virgo energy is literally all to do with what can the human eyes dissect, look at when it comes to the analytical, smaller and finer details to refine something that's happened within the realm of Pisces, right? Within the spiritual, more subtle, hidden architecture of this dimension that we're transversing. And how can we take this energetic imprint, maybe that something has had or left a mark within our historical timeline, and create this, I'm hearing, new linear emergence where you are time, which is consciousness traveling into a new event, and there is now a new, I'm hearing, historical event that's actually unfolding from within you, within this present coordinate, within space-time. This is literally the moment of your unraveling. That's what this is, where you're left with nothing but your own core essence. And you know, if you sit in the pain for long enough and you are seated deeply within that stillness, that's the moment that the ego quietens enough where we're left with the ultimate truth of an experience. And so this eclipse is like that recalibration period where this was always here. The truth has always been within us. Again, this peace, this cosmic comfort, and knowing that we're an interactive element within this system and you're an integral part of that. It actually, you know, it shifts our perception, and that's all that's changing. It's just a shift of our perception to be able to finally see our life experience and not just look at it up on the surface. Another thing to mention is that Mercury performs extremely well in the sign of Virgo, which shows that your intellect is about to be on fire, your ability to read information. I'm literally seeing you reading codes when it comes to your life experiences. And so you're not just seeing them through the realm of being able to interpret this analytically. I'm actually seeing a pattern recognition ability that is being amplified during this time. I'm seeing like the dial being cranked up for you within the next 48 hours, where there's analytics that you're reading when it comes to your own life experience. And something is being precisely shown to you, or you're going to know precisely what something means. It literally just feels like an aha moment. And to give you a preview into what this may be, I want you to think back to the Mercury retrograde that we had earlier in June. And this was a Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer, because there was a story that was playing out behind the scenes then. This could have been emotionally, relationally, intuitively, that you were experiencing without fully understanding it. It's almost like you were gathering all of the pieces. And now, during this superior Kazimi, Mercury brings the message into the light. And this is your aha moment within these next 48 hours. It's information that, again, it's not new, but your understanding of it is. Because Cancer, with the Mercury retrograde that happened in Cancer, like lived the experience, okay? It has memory of the experience. And then Virgo is like, okay, I can finally make sense of this and begin to ask myself, what do I want to do with this experience that I lived? And that becomes even more interesting when we look at the Sabian symbol of this degree, because it's at a Cancerian degree, which is literally, it's like everything is threading together. So I want to read to you the Sabian symbol, because this superior Kazimi literally reminds me of the moment that the paper gets published and it's like cast out to humanity. But I'm seeing it as like specific, maybe it's like soul contracts or like letters, where I'm just seeing like tea time, right? It's like having tea with time again with the Mad Hatter. And it's like nothing really mattered up until this point. And I'm hearing nothing matters apart from this moment and this eternal now. And there's a level of fluidity or detachment in which you're reading your life experience, but almost like from the lens of the observer, or almost like from a third person perspective. That's almost what it feels like, where you're zooming out and then you're zooming in, but you're still seeing it from up here while inside of an experience. That's what I'm seeing. All right, so this is like a heary moment for you. All right, so the Sabian symbol is we're going to round it up to 5 degrees of Virgo. For the man dreaming of fairies, the theme is the magic of vision. The symbol speaks to imagination, inspiration, and the perception and consideration of possibilities. The image of a man dreaming of fairies alludes to magic, wish fulfillment, and vision. As a man dreams, so shall he achieve. At its highest, this symbol represents the ability to influence others and move to a higher accomplishment by inspiring them to share their hopes and dreams, to support each other as they work towards fulfillment of their individual goals. Watch for escapism and avoidance of effort, struggles through idle fantasy and wishful thinking. The accent is on vision and inspiration. Your creativity should be at its peak. When I tell you there's something that you're going to be able to do with this, and I'm just seeing it, Spirit keeps showing me like 8s to 9s, which is lots of energy, like lots of cause and effect that is then reaching this culmination point and being birthed into the world. So I'm seeing you literally being walked into. I'm hearing this experience or this aha moment becomes a portal into your most abundant timelines. All right. So solutions to difficult problems may appear by magic. Your greatest advantage lies in using your imagination. Let your mind float and be receptive. You know what's so crazy is that this whole day I've been just disconnected, all right, completely unplugged from, you know, when you have to disconnect to reconnect. I've just been unplugged from like the system. Essentially, it's a day where I'm not even looking at my phone, and anytime I do look at my phone, that I see exactly what I need to. And that might be a notification that comes in. That might be every single time I check my phone today, it's an angel number. Every single time. 17, 17, 18, 18, 11, 11, 13, 13. That's the only time. Like to see an angel name number, to see a message, and there's something around the synchronicities that you just can no longer deny. Anyway, it says guard against rejecting new ideas simply because they don't fit your preconceived notions of the way things should be done. Don't tell yourself it's impossible or it won't work until you've tried it. The stepping stones and keywords are vision, imagination, inspiration, expectation, wish fulfillment, hope, luck, magic, mysticism, enchantment, charm, perceptive, fantasy, sorcery, supernatural, and the occult. So Pisces perceives the invisible whole, and Virgo attempts to discern it, to name something, interpret it, and actually give it practical form. This is where we take things from la la land and we ground it into physical embodiment. And then if we think about Uranus, that's in Gemini, it actually becomes a really important detail because Uranus is an outside force that comes in and it kind of destabilizes any kind of existing mental architecture that's been happening within your inner realm. So it's designed to interrupt your worldview in many ways and a particular area of your chart that this is being streamlined into. So, you know, take a look at where Gemini is in your chart. If you're a Sag rising, for example, this is going to be in your 7th house of partnerships. And I'm hearing if you're a Gemini rising, this is going to be in your 1st house of like identity. So there could be something that's completely recalibrating and like how you in your actual avatar. And yeah, that revelation is not going to be given to you through another piece of information. It's literally helping you realize, I'm hearing your full potential through this shift of perception where you're now interpreting something differently because of this information that's coming in. Whereas previously there was like no more room. I'm hearing like dead end. You know when there's a case that goes cold? That's what this feels like. It felt like, okay, I'm throwing my hands up in the air, or maybe it's felt like something has been up in the air until this moment. And I'm hearing this is where a cold case gets solved within your own like soul's journey. This is so interesting. And so this is going to give you a really clean progression because the Kazimi is, okay, I see something. And the eclipse that's happening is like, all right, I can feel and I can recognize what this means. And Uranus is like, well, I can no longer think about my life or this person or this thing the same way. And there's a caution with the Sabian symbol because we have to ask ourselves, is this genuine or is this intuitive perception? Am I projecting meaning onto something because I want it to be true? And that's something that we have to really sit with because Virgo supplies discernment without killing the magic of the experience because we're still in a holographic construct within the realm of energy. And Pisces supplies this imagination without abandoning the reality of a situation or abandoning ourselves. And I'm hearing the potential that a situation could actually have. The invitation is that you cannot choose to not believe something just because you can't prove it to the linear mind. There's something on a soul level that you understand is happening, that you understand, right? That's really what this is. It's something that you understand. The mind is still unraveling right now to understand. So don't assume that everything you cannot yet prove is impossible. And that also speaks to experiences that you don't yet have a point of reference for. And this feels like the most abundant timelines, that this version of self that you're evolving into, like if you imagine two archetypal expressions, there's a version of self that doesn't know something, and there's a version of self that does. And how does this information not just interrupt their worldview, but also interrupt the way that they see their potential in this realm? This is what it is. The things that you would choose to do because of the information that you know, and the things that are already in your field, but your awareness simply hasn't illuminated the possibilities within the field, lead to two different beings, okay? Two different ways of experiencing reality. And I'm seeing a shift occur, okay? Some kind of shift occur. So I'm actually going to leave this message pretty short and sweet today. I want to get this through to the field literally ASAP. But I keep hearing like, which one? So which one? I'm gonna just pull two messages, and it's gonna be a Magic of the Gathering, because I feel like this is a magical gathering, and then also a Cosmos Oracle, and see what comes through. Okay, of course you have Helioid. I'm gonna try and pick this up with my feet right now. Here we go. Helioid is generosity, and it's the sun, which makes sense. We kept talking about the exaltation, right? This exothermic reaction that you have, and you have inspiration at the base. So there's something that you're being called to do, okay, or something that you're being called to create from this that's going to be extremely inspiring. And Helioid generosity is like you being able to give this. It feels like an anti-gatekeeper energy, especially because behind that you have medicine. I keep hearing like medicine man. Let's see. Okay. Which one? Honestly, I could sit with you for hours. Just this energy is so beautiful. The sun gives its energy and warmth to everyone equally without asking for anything in return. When I did the Kazimi message that was happening in Virgo last year, I literally spoke about it as an internal dialogue that's happening with your own soul. It's an intercommunication with plasma, and that is shifting you back towards your internal map, where all external experiences and networks have been leading you back towards your own cosmic origin. And I'm seeing it as cosmic remembrance and also pre-incarnation intentions. It was designed to be a catalyst, not a comfort blanket. So let your light shine brightly for all those to see, and know that your love cannot be exhausted. So there is a reward in the joy of expressing your nature. Let your light shine brightly. And with inspiration, this feels like a muse. It feels like you're being called to create something from this. It's not even funny. This so reminds me of the Billionaire Timelines. You know what this is? Bro. It doesn't even matter, because it's going to have an afterglow effect. I'm going to close out with the afterglow. So knowing the whole landscape of the mind, the conscious and the unconscious, is the hero's quest. Oh, I started reading Be the Light. So that's something that you also need to know. It talks about go into the dark places of the mind and bring the light of your awareness to them. Once you turn yourself from reacting automaton to an aware being who is responsible for your emotions, thoughts, and actions, you can consciously create your destiny. So that wasn't by accident that I started reading that one with the Be the Light. And it's the same color spectrum. So I'm seeing something around, different colors of frequencies, which are also self-organized within dimensional layers of this reality. And there are different archetypal expressions that reside within those realms and occupy those specific dimensional corridors. But I'm seeing it as there's some information that resides within the same realm, or the same perception, okay, or perspective. A new idea or insight into life can happen in an instant, so don't give up. Be ready. It's a bolt of inspiration that hits you. Don't think about it, just act on it. Bottle the lightning. The Kazimi is bringing some kind of lightning in a bottle, and you're being called to do something with it. And you know what's crazy? The lightning in a bottle in the Shaman's Dream Oracle message talks about the time has come to arrive in full splendor. There was a quiet period that you've been going through, like a moment of secrecy, and it protected what was precious and close to your heart. But the time has come to rise to the occasion unfailingly, as the moon does. The moon doesn't ask for permission to rise, and the sun doesn't, right? Right? What's that saying? But it can't always be night. One of them is better late than never, but never late is better by Drake. And then time isn't healing, but it's revealing. And they say to trust the process, but all I trust is me. But then this one, even if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night. And that's by Kanye West. So again, that's literally what this feels like. Even if you're not ready for the day. Ooh, she wasn't ready. It reminds me of that. Solar flares, are you freaking kidding me? Okay, I just heard we're gonna be a millionaire, billionaire. Okay, look at this. Oh, you know what it is? It's because of what you're gonna do with this. It feels like there's a level of visibility or impact. Solar flares is something that was previously withheld. Okay, it was something that was held back, and this is the afterglow, and it's being released into a creative project, into something here. Okay, into something. I'm gonna read it for you. Yo, I knew. The thing is, this message was so specific, even the time that this was going to be delivered today, like I had to wait until the sun set, right? And so it feels like the sun rises into a new day, but you literally wake up in a parallel, like you don't see yourself the same. You've literally shifted into a parallel version of self, because it's a version that doesn't recover this information. But it was always designed as part of your journey. So solar flares talks about the tipping point before a loss of stability. Flares are characterized, I'm so excited. I'm trying to hold, I'm trying to not repress it, but I'm trying to contain it so I can actually sit here right now, because I just want to jump around and celebrate. That's literally what this feels like. I had to really hold myself back, because I felt like I was taking myself on a date all day. I feel like that every day. But there's an energy of, damn, I'm so happy. Okay, just take a moment. Just congratulations. Just remember me. Okay, so flares are characterized by emotions with a lot of sudden energy. They release unexpectedly a large amount of energy that was previously withheld. This event is both a double-edged sword and also a direct turning point. As we well know, the sun's energy, when moved in large quantities, can be acted upon and can be an ideal combination to start projects, make decisions with direct actions, and find yourself standing in an entirely active point. This event is also well managed. Again, it talks about beauty, enthusiasm, and the color of the auroras. And you know how we talk about the auroras also being linked to bioplasma beings. And this is about the shift to the counterpart Earth. It's about embracing your multidimensionality, and interdimensional beings are able to navigate those internal dimensions within themselves. Dimensions are self-organized through the frequency of thought. So the entire reality that we live in operates from the slowest oscillation and the highest oscillation. This is like the bandwidth of frequency light and the spectrum. And so the fastest oscillation is high vibrational thoughts and feelings. So it's okay, let me see what it is that I'm being called to create here. What am I showing myself through another form of me, or through an event in omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresent kind of point of view. And then we have lower thought forms and frequencies, which is the slower oscillation, which are linked to resentment and anger and fighting the mirror. And I'm seeing this is the moment that the sword goes on the mirror and it shatters the illusion that anything was ever outside of you, because you're playing in a world and a universe born from your own frequency. And there's an energy of, okay, this is hidden material that I'm now being shown was always designed for me to create something with it. And that's part of the terrain of the third dimension. So anyway, it talks about large energy events. You're being called to do something with this energy, basically. Otherwise, it causes an implosion, which literally can lead to deep anger or resentment or just frustration, because this is energy that's being asked to be channeled really, really intentionally, and essentially be alchemized, which is to create something from this emotion, create something from this energy. And it talks about there can be anger or imbalance that we feel if not. And it's not that we resent a situation or a person or an event, it's that we end up resenting ourselves, because we're literally being given beautiful ingredients, but then we don't want to do the work to cook in the kitchen, right? To enjoy the reward of what will nourish our experience, all right, or our carbon-based life form. And the thing is, when we talk about stress actually, it deteriorates carbon. Okay, stress deteriorates carbon, and we are carbon-based life forms. And so there's an energy of, okay, seeing this from the lens of the soul and actually honoring that intuitive knowing that we have when it comes to what to do with this circumstance is literally something that brings us back into harmonic order, because we're not having internal wars within ourselves. We are aligning our actions accordingly to support the soul's desires while moving through this terrestrial plane. And it talks about there being no time left to action the inaction. So it's integrating the masculine and the feminine. Okay, I'm hearing, so understanding the realm of energy or life experiences from the lens of the soul, and also knowing what to act on and create within the physical experience, which is the masculine, okay, what to embody. And with that being said, I'm going to love an Evie right there. Damn. Yeah. This is... Oh, no, I'm not. Let me do one more message for this. We're going to use this keyword to close out, okay? Tell me about the afterglow effect, particularly how that translates from light bulbs into a human itself, and the afterglow or effect of what it is they create that seemingly blooms from muddy waters, much like a lotus born from the most unexpected, hidden, dark realms. This is what I feel like I'm seeing a lotus energy. The afterglow is not the light source itself. It's what remains illuminated after the source has already passed, dimmed, or disappeared. So this can be residual light, and it continues to radiate what it's been holding. Translated into human experience, it can be energetic residue of what someone has lived, transformed, embodied, and created. Some people create an effect that extends far beyond the moment you encounter them. Their words stay with you. Their art continues working with you. Something they said suddenly makes sense months later. Their presence changes the emotional temperature of a room even after they've left. There we go. It's the afterglow. So you're no longer standing directly beneath their light, yet somehow you are still seeing it. So the lotus it does not bloom despite the mud. The mud participates in the bloom. The darkness contained the nutrients. What looks undesirable, hidden, stagnant, or buried becomes material for something extraordinarily beautiful. So humans can do something similar when it comes to grief, isolation, the years that nobody witnessed, the rejection, the confusion, the shadow work, the periods in which seemingly nothing was happening. These can become the muddy waters from which a person's particular light develops. So sometimes when we encounter someone with an extraordinary afterglow, what we're actually witnessing is transmuted darkness. What does Thoth say in the Emerald Tablets, guys? Right, the purpose of being is being able to transmute darkness to light. So your tenderness could have been cultivated through knowing cruelty. Your discernment may have come through deception. Your wisdom may have been formed inside of confusion. And your ability to make other people feel seen may exist because you once knew intimately what it meant to feel invisible. Your art can become luminous precisely because you learned how to retrieve something beautiful from places other people were afraid to enter. So the lotus reveals where the light comes from, and the afterglow reveals where the light goes. Yeah, you are the roots that descended into darkness, and the flower rises towards the light. And then its presence alters everything around it. So I'm seeing like time stands still within your field, because something that, one part of us can feel like is designed to deter us off of our path becomes an accelerant force. It actually becomes a catalyst to rapidly accelerate the unfoldment of our path. That's what this is. So I feel like people are about to experience something that you create. Again, it continues blooming in others even after you're gone. This literally feels like legacy type of energy. It's evidence that you learned how to make darkness fertile. And that's because a seed doesn't, if you think about seed germinating, you have to keep it in the darkness. You have to keep it in the soil. That's the very place that it's born into its next form. And it's almost like you have evolved into your next form. That's what the Kazimi is doing. Damn. We're transcending into your next form. Feels like the group 9 reading I did. But anyway, I'm going to love and leave you right there, my love. I trust that whatever's going to be illuminated to you is going to be designed so specifically for the way that the universe desires to express itself through your unique frequency. And so trust that you've got this. I feel like you've already been through the thick of it. And, you know, now you're coming out revived, rejuvenated on the other side. So let me know in the comment section down below if you feel so called to share. And if you've made it to this point, comment down below the lotus emoji, okay? The lotus emoji. And yeah. I'm going to love and leave you right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel and this found you, it's not by coincidence. So you're part of the troll tribe. Make yourself at home. Personal reading details are also down below. You guys can click the link for that one. And also check out Auto Spirit if you're looking for some high quality AAE grade gemstones. Today I decided to wear pink. Check the nails, peep the nails. Yeah, I've got kunzite. This is also rose quartz. And then I also have, oh, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Kunzite rhodonite. This is rhodonite, this dog, pink one. And anyway, until next time, bye. Clouds in the sky don't care if I stay.